Well, look who it is. Yep. I know it's been forever since I've uploaded everything. Believe it or not, I've actually recorded a few things. I recorded a gameplay video um, a little while back, but I forgot to turn on my sound capture. So there was no sound. I mean, there was game sound, but no voice, no me talking. Um, and secondly, I did record a vlog about, I would say almost 2 weeks ago, but the vlog ended up pretty much being invalid because a lot of the stuff changed in it. So, yeah, that wasn't fun. And I've been busy and upset and stressed and depressed and all this, that, and other fun, good stuff and whatnot that I just haven't bothered to record that. And I usually, with my mother in the living room, my aunt's visiting, they're down there till pretty late. There's a lot of noise that comes from the living room, which does not make good for me recording. And even after they go to bed, a lot of times I'm in call with my girlfriend, and I'm not going to record then. I'm in call with her now. She's asleep, and I've decided to just shut my camera off on Skype for a little while, shut my mic off, and finally do a recording. Because I do want to update on things that are going on, because there are some positives and negatives for things that are happening with me. So, the positives. I've had the surgery done. You'll be able to see here, yeah, all across here up top. These are some of the marks. There's one that you see, 3 more down there. I actually have a total of 7. The 7th one I believe is even lower down, or it's on my side. What they call lithroscopic surgery, I think. I think that's what it's called. Where they make a bunch of small slits and they insert these devices, these like, I'll just call them tubes, kind of like tube things, and then they insert the tools they need through the tubes, and they work through a camera microscope on a TV. You've probably seen it enough, but for those of you who may not know, that's what they do. Now, I've had one person ask the question of, well, does that mean that they left the part of the stomach that they've cut off inside you? And the answer is no. That would be bad. They actually do pull it out. They make one incision that's a little bit larger than the others, and your stomach literally gets pulled through that cut. And it's a surprisingly small one. So no, my stomach is not in there anymore. I only have a sleeve of a stomach left. And I had it done on, I might have said Thursday. It was Friday, on the 25th. So not quite a week. I'm recording this on Thursday at 1:21 a.m. So right now it is just about it's only an hour and a half difference from when I left for my surgery. I took a lift to the hospital, and I took a lift back from the hospital, and it was something. The surgery went really well. My surgeon was very, very happy with the surgery. I'm just leaving my headphones on. I don't want to take them off right now. The surgeon was very, very happy with the surgery. There were no complications, no problems. So things went well there. When I woke up in a tremendous amount of pain. My whole stomach it was like, I don't know what it's like to be stabbed. I've never been stabbed, but it might have well been somebody stabbing me in the stomach constantly, or having a knife in my gut. I woke up in instant tears. Instant tears, my eyes closed, trying my best not to move, because despite the fact I still had the anesthesia in me, despite the fact that I was just coming out of it, I knew enough to know I had just had surgery. I'm in recovery. There are other people around me, and I managed to keep myself quiet, but I couldn't stop crying, and I did literally beg to make the pain stop. It was that bad. It was bad. Normally it wouldn't be so bad, except I woke up faster than they anticipated I would. Normally they'd have some pain medication in me, but I woke up faster than they had anticipated. I probably still would have been in pain, just maybe not as much, because they do the pain medication after the surgery in shots through your IV, in small doses so that they don't overload you, particularly because you still have a lot of anesthesia in you, which apparently takes several days to actually fully come out. So yeah, that has happened. I have been on a protein shake and clear liquid diet only for the past week. Actually, it's not quite a week. Friday will be a week. Actually, Saturday will be a week. Because on Friday, after the surgery, for the first 24 hours, it's nothing but water. You can only have water for the first 24 hours. And let me tell you, when they started bringing me... they brought me a protein shake. They brought me some Jell-O, which apparently I could have. I haven't bought any Jell-O, but they brought me Jell-O. They brought me a protein shake. They brought me some chicken broth. Oh my God, was I in heaven? Was I in heaven, being able to sip the broth and the Jell-O, eat the Jell-O, and sip on the protein shake? Oh God, was it amazing. To have, to be away from water, basically. To be away from water meant everything to me. But I've been on that since I left the hospital on Saturday. And it's not easy. It's not. You're only really allowed to sip. You're not supposed to gulp. You can, but you're not supposed to. Even doing this, it'll hurt your stomach as the liquid passes through your stomach, because clear liquids and whatnot do not stay in your stomach. If there's no food in your stomach, then the clear liquids will just pass straight through your system, because the stomach will not bar clear liquids. If there's food in your system, that's when drinks will get stopped, because the stomach needs to digest the food, which is why they say, if you're hungry, try and drink. Actually, the truth is, if you're hungry, have a very small little bit to eat and drink. Because if your stomach's empty, it's just going to let the clear liquid run through. But if your stomach even has a little bit of food in it, and then you drink, it's going to hold the water or the juice or whatever else you have. This is Vita Water Zero. No calories. It's got like 1 gram of sugar in it, which, to be honest, I couldn't even have. It says total carbohydrates 1, but it doesn't even say it has a sugar, so I don't know how it has carbohydrates, but whatever. And that's basically it. And I do that I'm not supposed to do it every 5-10 minutes, but I do it whenever. It is difficult. The reality is I'm not hungry. When you have this done, your mind and your body completely rewires itself for a little while. So I don't feel hunger. I have not felt hungry since it started, but hunger will return. Hunger tends to return in what they call phase 3B. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So I don't feel hunger, but that doesn't mean smelling the food that's being cooked in the house. Or I just went to the convenience store, and even convenience store food right now, the hot dogs and whatnot turning on the thing, and the pizzas and the whatnot, you can't have it. I mean, even if I was allowed to eat, even if I was in phase 4, It's really not a good idea, and I wouldn't be able to eat a full hot dog to begin with. I could only eat about half of one, which I'm not supposed to eat a hot dog to begin with. I might not even be able to tolerate a hot dog. There's a lot to go over on this. But let me give you the quick news before I go any further. Since the operation on Saturday, from Sunday, because I didn't weigh myself, I think it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. From Sunday, I have lost 14 pounds. Now, because of that, that means on Saturday, I probably weighed considerably more, probably even Friday as well. So I'm willing to say I've probably lost about 18 pounds because I'm averaging a little bit more than 2 pounds a day. So 14, 18, 19, maybe even 20 pounds total since the surgery. I only know of 14. So tomorrow I expect to be, right now I'm 422. I expect to be 420 or 419 when I weigh myself after I get up. The thing is, I'm still not happy with myself because at my lightest, while I was trying to lose weight for the surgery, I got all the way down to 417. So I'm still heavier than what I was having lost weight on my own. So, yeah. I'm not fully happy with myself. But, still, it's a tremendous weight drop within a week. And it's less than a week. It's 5 days since I've been weighing myself. So in 5 days, I've lost 14 pounds. There's 2 days that are unaccounted for. I don't know how heavy I was when I went in. I really don't. So, phase 3B, basically, is when I can get into soft texture foods. And this starts 10 days after your surgery. Not 10 days after you start phase 2. Phase 1 is all water. Phase 2 is protein shakes. Phase 3A is very limited soft texture foods. So I've got this whole booklet here that I can go over stuff. I kind of got a cheat sheet, which I really need to put in the back. Okay, so protein foods that I'm allowed to have. Protein foods that I'm allowed to have. Fat-free Greek yogurt, no fruit chunks. Low-fat cottage cheese, part skim ricotta cheese, tofu, vegetarian refried beans, black or pinto, and I can still have protein shakes and powder. Now, this is provided I can find some of this. The cottage cheese I can find. The tofu I could probably find, although I'm not a tofu eater. I don't know if I can eat cottage cheese. The yogurt I can probably find. The refried beans I'd actually like to find, but I don't know if I can where I go shopping. Non-protein foods. And they say to make sure eat the protein foods first before you eat the non-protein foods. I'm probably going to stick with shakes because they say try to get 60 to 70 grams of protein per day into your diet. Well, my protein shakes are 30 grams of protein each. So 2 of those shakes cover this goal. And I can have fat-free or light yogurt, again, no fruit chunks, unsweetened applesauce. I can actually have canned pears or peaches in their own juice or water, no syrup. Now, I could probably handle, to be honest, about a quarter cup. About a quarter cup, and that's it. I'll be full. A soft banana or sugar-free pudding. I could also do oatmeal or cream of wheat, but I tend to make that stuff thick, so I can't have that. And then we get into phase 3B, which I'm actually supposed to start vitamins in 3B. I'm hoping I'm not hurting myself. I went into vitamins a little bit because I was feeling very off. I'm going to stop them for now. I believe I've done all I've needed to do, but we'll see. So, on 3A, I also got to go into my vitamin supplement, which I need a vitamin B12 daily in the form of a tablet or liquid. I may be able to find it in a chewable, which is what I have. I need to take 1,200 to 1,500 milligrams of calcium. They say calcium or citrates, put to 2 or 3 doses. It'll be 3 doses for me. So basically 1 with every meal. And I also need to take a multivitamin with minerals. Take a complete multivitamin daily dose. Which I also have a chewables complete multivitamin gummies. The gummies just make it easier. There's no artificial flavors. They're gluten-free. There's no dairy. They do have sugar in it, though, which I haven't been paying attention to. Makes me wonder how much I've been paying attention to what I've been having. Very hard to read. Oh, these things actually have calories. There's like 2 freaking grams of sugar in here. And that's for taking 2 gummies. So this is actually okay. Although, if wow, I was not paying attention to my calcium, because this actually has 6 grams of sugar. So I've been lucky. If I had a complete bypass, you can't have sugar at all. But because I've had a sleeve, sugar is okay. And you really should not stop carbohydrates at all. Low carbohydrate is the way to go, not carbohydrate free. Because carbohydrates are the fuel of the body, and your body does need that. So the little bit I'm having there is okay, as long as I make sure to keep it to very low to none, and everything else I'll be fine. I should have paid more attention to what I was getting, but it actually only dawned on me to look recently. I said, these are kind of like candy. I should really take a closer look. But yeah, I also need to take calcium. Then I get into stage 3B, and the reason it's split up is because it's still soft texture foods. This takes place 20 days after surgery, so I have to go 10 days on that. Then I can go this. This part will last for 3 weeks. I can have everything that I had before. I can have chicken or turkey. Flaky fish like tuna, cod, haddock, salmon, or tilapia. Egg whites or egg beaters. Soy-based veggie burger, which I will actually try. Beans and lentils, and of course protein shakes. For my non-protein foods, again, everything I was allowed to have before, plus tomato sauce, well-cooked vegetables, non-starchy or starchy, with no skins or peels. That actually kind of hurts, because I love my potatoes with peels. And this is saying, and I can have reduced fat or light cheese. And I have light mayonnaise, a light salad dressing, tub margarine or oil, avocado, or smooth nut butter for my fats. In short. And the trick is I'll be able to handle very, very, very little. I will literally be able to have like 1 egg and 1 tablespoon of oatmeal and like 1 teaspoon of ketchup. And that's going to fill me. So in order to keep my everything up, I will literally need to eat at least 5 times, well, not at least, 5 times a day. I will have to eat 5 small meals a day, as opposed to most people who eat 3. You know, they're saying things like 1.5 ounces of tuna, 1 tablespoon of canned pears, and 1 teaspoon of light mayonnaise. And that'll be my meal. You know, it's pretty insane. And there's still a lot of things I have to keep up with. And then, finally, a full 40 days after surgery. 40 days after surgery. If I meet everything I need to, I'll be able to move on to stage 4, which means regular texture foods. And they say in stage 4 you will start trying new types of food. You may be intolerant to some foods, so be patient. Tolerance improves over time. For possible food problems, protein foods that you may have problem with: tough red meat, hamburger, lobster, scallops, clams, shrimp. Oh dear God. I mean, I don't eat shrimp very often. I don't eat clams at all. Scallops I love, but I rarely eat them. Lobster I've had like twice in my life. Hamburger, well, honestly, I've done a lot. I prefer ground turkey, to be honest, but we do have hamburger. And tough red meat. Fruits is stringy, thick skin peels like oranges, grapes, pineapples. Vegetables is stringy or fibrous like asparagus, pea pods, or celery. I tell you, if I can't eat asparagus, my stomach and I are having a freaking talk. And starches, rice, pasta, doughy breads, and popcorn. So there is really a lot. I mean, here is a stage 4. Starting stage 4 about 6 weeks after surgery. This is a meal plan. And they call them eating events, of all things. They call them eating events, not meals, eating events. These are my eating events. This is a sample eating event plan for a day. 8 a.m., 1 1/2 scrambled eggs. 1/4 banana. 1 1/2 scrambled eggs and 1/4 banana. I don't know how to scramble half an egg. 9 a.m. just a drink. Oh yeah, you need to wait an hour to half an hour to an hour from between drinking and eating. You have to wait half an hour to an hour between drinking and eating, because you could stretch out your stomach again if you start trying to do both, because you fill up so quickly. Anyways, 10 a.m., 3 ounces of fat-free Greek yogurt and a half a cup of strawberries. 1 p.m., homemade chili with turkey rather than Hamburg. 1/4 cup of stewed tomatoes and 1 tablespoon avocado. That's for the fat. 3 p.m., 1 scoop of protein powder in 8 ounces of skim milk. A protein shake. I would probably skip the powder and just have shakes. 6 p.m., 1 ounce of fish. 1 ounce of fish. 1/4 cup cooked green beans. That's it. And then 1/4 cup ricotta cheese. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, that's 6. And I will have to eat like this for the rest of my life. Things can change. They actually do go up a little bit as you become more tolerant. There is stage 4, 8 months postop. This is just starting stage 4 about 6 weeks after surgery. Stage 4 about 8 months postop. They go with the protein powder, then 1.5 ounces of tuna, 1 cup salad, vegetables, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, cucumbers, so a whole cup. And 1 tablespoon of light dressing. Then you can actually have 6 ounces of Greek yogurt, which I think is up. Yeah, 3 ounces. So it's double. You can have double the Greek yogurt. 1 ounce ground turkey, sticking with the ounce of meat. But you get a 1/4 cup of beans and a 1/2 cup of stewed tomatoes. And then at 9, and then you go for a 1/4 cup of roasted chickpeas and 2 clementines, whatever the hell that is. So, in short, your diet changes. Again, you can eat a little bit more, and that's 5 times. And then about 2 years, they literally go 2 years after post-op. 6 ounces of yogurt. This is breakfast. 1/2 a banana and 1/2 cup of bran flakes. So it's gone up again. You can actually now have 3 ounces of chicken. It takes 2 years to get 3 ounces of chicken. Lettuce, tomatoes, onion, vegetables. 1 sandwich thin. Not quite sure what that means. I'll have to ask. 1 tablespoon avocado. And then 1/2 cup of cottage cheese, 1 cup of blueberry, a full cup of blueberries. You spoil me. 2 tablespoons of sliced almonds. And then for dinner, you'd have 2 ounces of lean ground turkey meatballs, 1/2 cup of whole wheat pasta. I like that. 1/4 cup tomato sauce, 1/2 cup of wilted spinach. I'd have something else, and a 1/4 cup of light mozzarella cheese. That's 2 years. I mean, they literally go into 2 years. What a lot of people don't understand when it comes to this is when you get this surgery, it is a life-changing event. It is literally life-changing. You are in this for the long haul. It is not a quick fix. And it is not an answer. Bariatric surgery is a platform to launch from into your weight loss. It is up to you. It is up to you to make it work. You must eat right. You must stick with the plan for the rest of your life. You need to be willing to make those changes and those sacrifices in order to make this work. And it's not easy. It is not easy. if you can't have reasonable control of your weight before you go to surgery, if you cannot have reasonable control of your weight before surgery, then don't do it. I had reasonable control of my weight. Granted, I got all the way down 417, and at one point I ballooned all the way back up to 442, and I pulled myself back down into the 430s, and I probably could have gotten lower given more time, but I was out of time. But the fact that I was able to do that, I felt confident enough going ahead that I'll be able to do this. I'll be able to do this. I'll be able to lose the weight. Now, things I'm concerned about: loose skin. Under here, very particular. My stomach, although my stomach can be handled, should my stomach can be handled should I need it. I can get surgery for it. My legs shouldn't be too bad. My arms shouldn't be too bad. They're still pretty solid, honestly. I mean, there is some there, and there will be some, but that's not nearly as bad as a lot of people have. My biggest concern is my chest, because this is not pretty. I am sorry for disgusting anyone else like this, but if you haven't already seen, I already lifted up my shirt. You can see how this is. I mean, I literally, yeah, that's not pretty at all. That's really, really bad. That's where most of my problem's going to be. That's it, camera. Go ahead and unfocus for a little while. We don't mind. So that's where a lot of my problem is going to be. And there's nothing that I have in my medical right now that'll handle that. Possible that I'm going to be changing medical anyways. I'll get to that in a little bit. So far pretty good. It is difficult dealing with seeing foods and smelling foods, even if I'm not hungry. Even if I'm not hungry, the temptation's there. And controlling my eating is going to be tough, because you can fuck up. I actually, a long time ago, I saw this story about this guy. He was like 700 something pounds. He got the surgery. He got all the way down to like 150 pounds. And he said he'd never be that big again. About 3 or 4 years later, he was 900 pounds. So he was even bigger than he was before. And he needed to get the surgery again, which is twice as complicated. I mean, getting the surgery when you're big is dangerous enough. And the bigger you are, the more dangerous the surgery. But having if you have to get the surgery done again, it's actually more difficult and more dangerous. So that's why you really need to make sure you can make what you're doing, what you're setting out to do, work. Because you don't want to have to go back on that operating table. So that being said, I don't want to blow this opportunity. You know, so I'm really grounding my mind to make this work. I really am. Time will tell. I'm looking forward to soft texture foods because I am going to try. And if I have to choke down some of these foods, I will. But I'm still going to have 2 protein shakes a day, because that will maximize my protein. That will instantly hit my protein goal, 2 shakes. And then I can have a little bit in between. But I got to be careful, because the protein shakes are 200 calories each. So that's 400 calories in 2 protein shakes. So I need to keep that in mind. You know, it does come down to calorie intake, to carbohydrate intake. You gotta portion yourself, and having the stomach the way it is helps with that. But you gotta keep it going because you can't fuck up again. You can't. And I'm looking so forward to seeing my weight go below 400 pounds for the first time in 15, 16 years. I don't know how far my weight's going to get, how far down it's going to go, but I would like to be 250, 225. I don't want to be like 165, which is where I'm supposed to be. I'd be much happy around 250, 225. Probably 225 is where I'd be happier. 250 sounds actually in my head, as I'm saying it now, still sounds a bit too big. So 225, I'd be happy. Well, let's move on from this subject. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. But yeah, big change in my life happening there. Another big change in my life happening is I'm going to end up losing my SSI because of my job. I'm only allowed to make $1,170, and I make $1,464. So I make just about $300 more than the minimum that I'm allowed to, or the maximum that I'm allowed to make. So I have probably about 8 more months of Social Security left, and then it's going to vanish. So that's going to be a loss of income of $900 something dollars a month. I can deal with it. It's going to be a big hit, but I can deal with it. And I may get a part-time job looking for 2 to 3 days a week doing something, or I may drive 2 more days. So instead of just going out, I mostly go out Friday and Saturday to drive. Occasionally I'll go out Thursday. So maybe I'll actually definitely go out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The 2 days on the weekday will give me a chance to meet some of the bonus for Uber or Lyft, and then Friday and Saturday give me a chance to meet the bonus for Uber and Lyft again. Maybe I'll go out on Sunday for a little while if I'm close to a second part of a bonus and I feel like it's worth it. I might do that. But I've got time to plan. I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a hurry. I've got time to plan, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to plan for it, and I'm just going to look out for it, and we're going to see what happens. Right now, I'm not going to worry about it. The other thing is that we may not be staying in this house. I don't know how long. The landlord let slip at some point and everything they've been doing. She might like to sell this house someday. Yeah. That's all we need to know. We'd like to find somewhere that's less expensive, where we might pay less rent. We'll have to see in time. I'm not 100% sure of it. I don't want to have to move again. I don't. It's one of the biggest problems my mom had always had. And it's not her fault. It's not. But one of the biggest problems my mom always had was not being able to live in a place for very long. It was not uncommon for us to move after a year growing up. And even though at one point she managed to stay with the same landlord for 11 years, she didn't stay in the same house for 11 years. But we'll see. We'll see. We probably could be living at the same house still or the same apartment, but the landlord that had the apartment in Wareham, he was a complete dick. He was a total asshole. And the place was a complete wreck. Which is why I insisted with my mom that we get the fuck out of there. So, not sure what's going to happen. I mean, it's not something that's on the board anytime soon, but it's something that could be happening in the future. Most likely will be happening in the future. It's just a matter of when in the future. Could be later this year, could be next year, could be 2 years down the road, more or less, we don't know. So, we got to deal with that. But that's something, again, that's in the back of the mind. It's not something that's, like, forefronted. Not sure if that's... okay. Anything else important going on? No, not really. Nothing else important going on. My bank account's still pretty good. It's not as high as I wanted. I had to buy a new keyboard. I don't know if you can see the wires back there. You can see that little hump right there. That's the wire to my old Logitech G710 Plus. I spilt tea, and a substantial amount of tea onto it on the lower portion, and I tried to save it, but I couldn't, and it just started acting up, started having problems, lights flickering, and it just wouldn't work. So I had to buy a new Logitech G710 Plus. I had used that keyboard for so long that I really didn't want to change. So I bought another exact version of it. There's a newer version of it. It's probably close to the same thing, but I wanted this version of it. So that was $100 I spent instantly. I also bought my girlfriend a cooling little cooling table for her laptop. You know what I mean. You put them on, and you can angle it, and you plug the USB port into your laptop. You plug the USB wire into your laptop, and it'll run the fans and help keep your laptop cool. Because her room's really warm, and her fan tends to work quite a lot to help keep her computer cooler. So this will help keep the laptop cool. Hopefully, if anything happens to the fan, will keep the laptop cool, and she'll still be able to use it. Time will tell. But it has 4 fans. There's 2 large fans on the side and the 2 smaller fans in the center. And you can angle it at, I think, 15, 30, 45, and 60 degrees. It has adjustable legs for that. So she'll be able to sit it on her bed if she wants and tilt it up, and it'll it'll help keep everything cool. So I've put that money out recently. I've put a little bit more money out for other things, a bunch of small stuff that's added up over time. So I'm not where I was hoping to be, but I'm still doing really good. My savings account is not where it needs to be right now. It's good, don't get me wrong, but I'm behind by like $300 or $400 on my plan of what I want to do, maybe even more. So I'm going to start trying to catch that up within the 9 months that I have, or 8 months that I have. In short, my goal was to put $100 a week away. Now, until I catch up, it's going to be $150 a week. Until I catch up. So it'll be every 2 weeks will be $100. I want to catch up to at least 4 weeks. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 6. It'll be about 8 weeks. Be about 2 months. I'll be doing $150 a week away as long as I'm working. because my goal is to try and get up to around $4,000 to $5,000 by by April next year. And at that point, I should be able to take the Envoy and turn it in, take very little to no equity loss on it, and hopefully, and then I'll have a $5,000 down payment on a newer car, and I'm going to be shooting for at least 2012, but I'm actually going to be aiming even higher than that. I'm going to be looking for 2000. I want to go 2014 to 2016. So I'm going to want an SUV type vehicle, but it's going to be something. Well, it may not be smaller, but it'll definitely be better on gas. The Buick Enclave is something I wouldn't mind. The Honda Pilot is another one I wouldn't mind. Of course, if I can get a Scion, I may just jump all over a Scion. So we'll see. I loved my little Scion back home, or back in Hawaii. I really, really loved that little Scion. I'd love to get another one. But the thing is New England weather, I might really want four-wheel drive. So, time will tell. Time will tell. Anyways, I'm already 46, going on 47 minutes flapping my app. I'm going to let this go and upload it right away. I hope you folks have enjoyed listening to me ramble as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. If you want to like and subscribe, please do go ahead. I'm not uploading very often right now, but I will upload as I can. Eventually, I will get things squared away. I just need to get a second monitor and I can start streaming, and I don't know what's keeping me from doing that, because getting a second monitor is easy as going on eBay or going on Craigslist and getting one. They're not very expensive for used ones and whatnot. So, and I don't even need a big one. I don't need a big 24-inch. A small little 20 or 9, as long as it's widescreen, is fine. Get that hooked up and I can start streaming. I go stream on Twitch, which I'd be very much willing to do. So we'll see. But other than that, if you have any questions about the surgery, about the procedure, about leading up to it, post-op, anything, even if you're someone that's considering it and you have questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. I will try and answer them to the best of my ability. If I need to go into some detail that I can't type very well, I will make another video and upload it. And I will keep that promise. So feel free to ask whatever you want. Other than that, this is going to be one big bugger. I'm going to be signing out. Maybe not so big after a few months, huh? I'll see you next time.